remains to reach an agreement by the December 31st deadline. Lucy Hoff, Brussels.
Hong Kong is tightening COVID-19 social distancing measures as health authorities say the city's current outbreak is the worst since the pandemic began. Schools are suspending classroom teaching for the rest of the year, and the government's ordering civil servants to work from home. Richard Kimber reports from Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's health authorities are warning the public to remain vigilant after the city reported 115 new cases of the coronavirus on Sunday. That's the highest number in almost 4 months and included 24 cases that have not been traced to an obvious source. The government is tightening a raft of measures to combat the spread. All Hong Kong schools will switch back to online teaching from Wednesday until after the Christmas holidays, and a new work-from-home policy is set to be announced for the city's almost 200,000 civil servants. The government is also ordering customers who dined at 3 specific restaurants over the past fortnight to all get tested for COVID-19 by Thursday, after it confirmed that the restaurants are the source of new clusters of cases. Anyone who ignores the order faces a potential fine of more than $3,000 and 6 months imprisonment. Richard Kimber in Hong Kong.
US health officials are warning of an acceleration in COVID cases after the Thanksgiving weekend. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
It's thought 50 million Americans kept their Thanksgiving travel plans, despite the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issuing a recommendation against gathering for the holidays. Top infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci told NBC that the coming weeks are likely now to show the consequences.
We might see a surge superimposed upon that surge that we're already in.
Hospitals are bracing for a post-Thanksgiving spike. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, November 30th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, we were gone for a long week. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Well, tired still, but because I've still been working aside from our show, so I'm still exhausted. But nonetheless, it is a new show. Excited to be back on. Ready for a fun episode today.
Yeah, we were gone for the week, obviously. We took a little bit of a break ourselves with the Thanksgiving holiday. It was nice.
I overslept last Monday.
But it was nice to sleep in a little bit. I mean, even that extra hour of sleep it made a world of difference.
Oh, it really did. I was getting used to sleeping in that, I prepped for today's show, but I wasn't 100% sure. I'm like, I didn't get the rundown sheet, so I'm like, I'll have everything prepped just in case. So, and then, of course, you let the stuff rust for a week and, rust and rest. And then, it takes a while to get everything back up and running. So, but nonetheless, it's up and running. I'm ready to go.
Exactly. We're going to knock the cobwebs off, and the best way to do that is by kicking off the show the way we do each and every episode with a question for my co-host. Tony, you are a healthy guy. You try to eat well, try to stay fit. Is there anything that's part of your intake regimen that you attribute to the quality of your health? Something that you swear by that makes you a healthier person?
Not drinking alcohol every day. I think doing that in moderation, not drinking soda pop, staying away from sugary stuff, knowing when to cut off, when to eat, not eating too late before you go to bed. And, I think that's helped my metabolism stay on top of things and staying active, since I've cut out alcohol completely. I mean, I'm not saying I don't drink, but I think that's a big part, not having a beer like every night and stuff, cut down on the gut and stuff, and then just trimmed it out. So I'd say those are a couple things, and but the big thing is staying active, moving around. So
that's fair enough. Well, maybe you'll want to take a page out of this person's book. My guess is probably not. But a German live streamer is revolting the internet with a troubling health regimen that involves ingesting 7 pints of his own urine per day.
Oh,
yeah. I know Tony's looking for
I can't find a button. I'm not ready for that, but I'll just give you my own soundbite for that.
Quote, "It's the body's own vaccination," Hamburg's Jan Schoenemann, 26, told the Daily Mail. Schoenemann claimed that drinking his urine can ward off illnesses and mitigate depression. The sports coach and student then streams his ill-advised ritual on Instagram and YouTube in the hopes that others will follow suit. Ugh. He also applies pee to his skin, eyes, and even his ears via a syringe. The alternative medicine practitioner claims that his liquid diet wards off sickness and imbues him with enough energy to where he only requires between 4 and 7 hours of sleep a night. Not only that, but the only time the pee proponent falls ill is reportedly from junk food, which he claims is normal for everyone. Quote, "I have a better quality of life since doing this," said Schoenemann, who stresses that urine has everything the body needs. Currently, experts advise against imbibing pee, a practice known as Urine-Therapy, as it can introduce bacteria and other harmful substances into the bloodstream as well as damage the kidneys, considering it just came out of that area. Tony, is that something you're going to take on, or probably?
Oh yeah, let me sign right up for that. I mean, it sounds super enticing. I'm gonna use my daily urine to wipe down my skin to keep everything good. I'm gonna hope that everybody doesn't smell me.
Right.
And it's gonna be great. Yeah. Hell no.
No. He even puts it. He puts it in his eyes.
The only time I would ever purposely put any urine on me is if a jellyfish stung my foot and I'd pee on myself. That's what they say. It's probably best way to sterilize it. So I probably would do that. I'd probably be in too much damn pain to even think about doing that. But that's it. That's disgusting. Yeah, that is a gnarly November 30th morning story.
Figured, we'd get going, up and running once again with just about as disturbing as you can get.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough.
All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about today's show. It is a Monday show. We have a wonderful episode lined up for you. Let's talk about it, shall we?
Briefly, I hate Mondays. Just hate them. Therefore, I decree from this day forward, there will be no more Mondays.
As we do on Mondays, Tony's going to take us through Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids. We have a segment that we've done a couple times called Today Years Old. That's a tongue twister. We have our call-in topic, which is Untraditional Thanksgiving. What do you do on Thanksgiving that's not, the traditional, maybe turkey or family gathering, whatever it may be. We have a segment called Please Pull Around to the Next Window. We close out the day with This Day in History, and Tony is up next with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Monday, November 30th. Now, we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Perhaps you partake in the urine therapy that we were just talking about. Hopefully not, because it's a little on the gross side. But, that's why we have the Fenix Line. That number, 855-FENIX-RADIO, that's 855-FENIX-RDO, or 855-336-4973. Toll free from anywhere in the world. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We will compile those together and put them out on a future show. Now, normally it is the second segment of this show, and Tony would be here with the entertainment news. The problem is that Tony somehow got booted off, and not exactly sure where he's disappeared to. And actually, he is coming back in as we speak, so we're going to give it just a second while we get him going here. For whatever reason, I think it's his phone that was probably his computer that was the issue. Looks like he's connecting up on his phone, which is still kind of strange why it would have given him the boot. But Tony, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hold on, let me get connected with my headset so I can actually do the segment. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. It's obviously your phone as opposed to your computer, but not exactly sure what happened, why you got kicked off. That is really strange, though.
Yeah, I think the internet, it says I had some issues. Can you see me?
I can see you now. Uh-oh, now you disappeared again. But I was going to say we're getting...
Can you see me here? Unmuted. This is the joys of live radio. This is everything that's going wrong can go wrong.
Right. And we get a little bit of a heavenly version of Tony as the light casts a glow behind his head. But regardless, you know what? We make do. We do what we can. But Tony is here. It is that time of the show where, we take you through the entertainment news.
All right, everybody. I can't even see what's going on, so I apologize. This is frustrating as heck, but we're going to roll with the Filippo Fast 5. I don't know where to look today. Let's roll. Okay, the original Darth Vader actor David Prowse dies at age 85. The Mandalorian digitally erases Gene's guy from Chapter 12. Mike Tyson smoked a joint before the Roy Jones Jr. exhibition, which threw 193 punches in 16 minutes. Said he'd do it all again. From what I hear, it was a pretty good fight for them being a couple of old guys. Mike Tyson apparently looked pretty good. Holiday weekend news, dump alert. Amazon has canceled Utopia. Sarah Fuller makes history as the very first woman to play a Power 5 football game for Vanderbilt over the weekend. And that is your Filippo Fast 5. I am so sorry. This is so much harder when I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of Blair Witch Tony at the moment, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's aggravating. I'm so sorry. This is not for good radio. Well, if you're listening, it's not bad. But if you're watching, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Well, the funny part now is even with the video up.
All right. Well, first ice cream line is sure to bring you holiday cheer.
We're getting the slow motion.
Can you even hear me? This is frustrating, man.
we got you now, so go ahead.
All right. Well, give me this is the retired pro wrestler has
well, we've got the weird digital version of Tony right now.
What is going on? Like, can you hear me, man? This bull squat, man.
It was working okay.
Can you see me? This is frustrating.
Well, and it's.
I'm so sorry, everybody. Can we push the entertainment segment to later and just do something else? We'll do this later. This is not for good entertainment.
Yeah,
radio.
It's not. So you know what we're going to do is we're going to run through the Today Years Old segment right now. And that way, you know, that hopefully Tony's either internet or his, you know, obvious. Whoa. And of course, we lose him in that respect. You know what, folks? This is the joy of live radio. Of course, you know, if you're listening to us, you know, it just sounds weird. If you're watching us, it looks even weirder. But like I said, I'm going to run through Today Years Old. That way, Tony can go through the entertainment segment here at a little bit later time. So, for instance, Today Years Old is an expression of when you found out something brand new and you were today years old. For instance, let's go ahead and talk about this first one. You know, for instance, I was today years old that in 1920, the town of Jackson, Wyoming elected an all-female town council by a margin of 2-1 over the men, drawing the most votes the town had ever seen. Known as the Petticoat Rulers, the women served for 3 years and did a great deal to clean up the notoriously lawless town. And of course, you know, 1920, that's around the time of the suffragettes, and just a great thing to see, obviously. You know, in the current state of politics, we're, you know, we're making progress, but we're not quite there yet. Moving on with Today Years Old, you have today I learned that bees take naps in flowers, cuddled up together, and everything is just a little bit more okay. And of course, there is a picture here with bees that are huddled up, you know, taking a nap inside of a flower. And I'm going to post these on our Facebook page over at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Adorable. You know, bees are nothing to be scared of. Now, wasps, on the other hand, that is certainly something to be scared of. But, you know, they're just a-holes. But bees are absolutely adorable. Moving on with Today Years Old, obviously we don't have Tony's commentary because he's dealing with some connectivity issues at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be today years old that he found out this during World War II, an American bomber nicknamed Ye Old Pub was nearly shot down. A German fighter gave chase, and once in range, he noticed the dead and injured crew and the terror in the pilot's face. He didn't attack and escorted the plane. Both pilots survived the war and finally met in 1990. And it even goes to show that during a time of war, there is a certain amount of humanity that is wonderful. You know, it's everybody thinks they're on the right side. And, you know, when you can sort of break down those barriers and help somebody out on the other side, when you see that terror in their face, it's wonderful. Let's move on with Today Years Old. For instance, I'm today years old when I learned that Prairie Dog Language is complex. They don't just have a call for danger. Their calls differentiate human, hawk, domesticated dog, coyote, etc., and specific size and color. One study found that they could communicate, "Here comes the short human in the yellow versus the tall human in the blue" to each other. So yeah, their communication styles are far more advanced than you would expect a prairie dogs to be. Let's move on with Today Years Old. Here's one that involves a celebrity. I was today years old when I found out that Bill Murray once drove a taxi cab so that the cab driver could spend the time playing saxophone in the back seat. The cab driver mentioned that he never had time to play his sax since he had to work 14-hour days. Murray took the driver's seat so that he could finally play some tunes, and that's just probably the most Bill Murray thing that he could do. You know, he shows up at crashes weddings and obviously takes pictures with people, but helping a guy like this practice his saxophone, doing what he needs to do in order to get out of driving a cab for a living, is wonderful. Let's move on with Today Years Old. I was today years old when I found out Ken Allen, a Borneo orangutan in the San Diego Zoo who escaped his enclosure 3 times. He never acted aggressively towards anyone during his escapes and generally wandered around the zoo looking at the other animals. He just wanted to be a tourist, just like everybody else. Let's move on. I was today years old when I learned squirrels plant millions of trees every year, and I just love that so much. So here's a gardener squirrel. Apparently they drew a picture of a gardener squirrel, but it is great to know that you know, the little critters are doing their part. Here in our neighborhood, we've got acorns all over the place, but surprisingly, we don't have many squirrels. So It's a little sad. We know that that's their favorite treat, especially if you watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Something we've talked about before here on the show. Let's move on. And of course, folks who are noticing the absence of Tony, both vocally and visually, he is working on figuring out some technical issues that he's dealing with. But, it wouldn't be a brand new show without a few tech issues. But let's move on. Today I learned, I was today's years old when I found out that the founder of Hyundai was born to an impoverished family of peasants in what is now North Korea. In 1998, he sent 1,001 cows to his hometown in North Korea as repayment 1,000 times over for a cow that he stole in the early 1930s to afford his train ticket to Seoul and escape from poverty. And it goes to show that no matter what walk of life you come from, if there's enough hard work, I guess even if you have to steal a cow, you can make something of yourself. All right, and then finally, with today years old, here's an interesting one. I was today years old when I found out that in the 1790s, an Oxford student introduced using guano, or bird poop or bat poop, as fertilizer. He spread guano across the university lawn, using it to spell guano, G-U-A-N-O. The lawn was soon scrubbed, but when spring came, the word guano was clearly visible, growing higher and thicker than the rest of the grass, which goes to show that fertilizer truly does work. Well, folks, that does it for this sort of strange segment. We're going to try and get Tony back on the line over the break, but when we come back, hopefully, we'll be doing Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, November 30th. Now, we are all over social media. Apparently I am. Tony isn't. I got a update from him over the break that apparently Xfinity, his internet provider, has decided to do some scheduled maintenance and did not bother to notify him previously to that. So that's the reason that we lost him. He's trying to get back a good cell signal, so at least we can get him through that way. But in the meantime, we are on social media. You can get a hold of us on social media at facebook.com. I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Phoenix Media Radio. Tony is available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo.94. That's SANFILIPPO.94. And, of course, that's when his internet is actually working. Or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. So, you know, we are changing some things around here a little bit. Kendra chimed in earlier, said he had a C3PO voice. He was a little on the digital side, but you know, instead of doing what we were normally going to do, Silly Rabbit, this bit is for kids, since that's normally Tony's segment. I have no idea what he was going to talk about. What we are going to do is skip a little bit ahead and go to our segment called Please Pull Around to the Next Window. Of course, you know, the hint there is that you know, we're talking about drive-thrus, and obviously with the state of the world that we're in right now, drive-thrus are more important probably than ever. You know, well, a lot of fast food places are closed to dine-in eating. You know, you go through the drive-thru. Of course, you want to make sure that they get your order correct. But, you know, we've got some stories here from people who have either been through the drive-thru and saw something weird happen, or, more importantly, worked a drive-thru and saw something very strange happen. So let's go ahead and kick things off while we're still waiting for Tony with Please Pull Around to the Next Window. For instance, this story says, dude had a full-on sex doll dressed up in his passenger seat. Sunglasses, dress, and even a hat. I couldn't even tell it was fake until I asked for their order. My guess is that he was probably using her for the carpool lane. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use her for the drive-thru, since you can order as much or as little food as you want. But yeah, if you've got somebody in that passenger seat and you know, your state highways have a carpool lane, well, you might get somewhere just a little bit faster. You know, when Halloween time comes around, we've got full-on skeleton, and we like to you know, put a hat or some sunglasses on the skeleton, put it in the passenger seat, drive it around, and just get some fun looks from people. Moving on with drive-thru stories, and please pull around to the next window. You have this person who says, I only worked the drive-thru for a year, but the weirdest thing I saw was an alpaca in a minivan. It's almost like Mad Libs, alpaca in a minivan. They asked at the window if they could order some apple slices for the alpaca. I just gave them 2 packs on the house. Yeah, and that was nice of them. My guess is it was probably McDonald's, since you know, they offer the apple slices as part of the Happy Meal. But, you know, not something you see every day. And, you know, it would have been nice of them to at least order something for themselves. Let's move on with drive-thru stories. You have Net Dork, who says, someone pulled a gun on my brother because the salsa containers weren't completely full. You can get as many as you want for no extra charge. So apparently they were upset that the salsa containers weren't totally full, which, you know, you get that every once in a while, but you know, if it's not going to cost you an extra 50 cents, another 75 cents, $1, whatever it might be, who cares? You know, it really doesn't matter. I noticed that Tony's trying to log back in right now. Hopefully we'll see him here in just a second, but or at least hear him. But let's move on with drive-through stories. You have Balanced Roses, sorry. It says a car pulled up and all 4 people were completely naked, just casually chilling. You know, depending on how old they were, what they looked like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. It's a little extra tip, you know. It's hopefully not too much tip, if you know what I mean. Moving on with drive-through stories. Please pull around to the next window. You have Cypup, who says, someone threw a fish at me once. They didn't order anything. It was just a drive-by fish attack. Okay, I'm not even sure where to go with that. You know, we've got Tony who's trying to join in again. Well, I'm seeing him. He looks a little bit clearer. It looks like his audio is trying to join. You know, it's just one of those weird things. Oh, I think we've got him. You there, Tone?
I am here. Can you hear me audio, see me picture?
We can hear your audio and see you picture.
Oh, okay. You can't see me?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's just delayed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is going to be kind of the roughest episode ever because I have to use my phone. So I want to apologize to anyone listening or watching. If this is like your first time watching, you're probably like, what a train wreck show this is. Technicians are apparently out in my area, and they decided to pull Xfinity, which is, by the way, a very expensive internet, and without warning have shut down, and we have no idea when it'll be back. So I've shut off the halo glow in the background. It's going to be a very stripped down set for me until I can get back online. So I do have a fancy soundboard, but that's really all I'm working with here, man. It's the sound quality on my end might not be so great because I'm using everything is off the AirPods versus the speakers. So I don't know how it is on your end, but yeah, man, I just want to apologize. This is very frustrating when you want to be professional about this and get it going, and you're live. You can't do anything about it.
Right.
Just is what it is, which sucks. So,
and that's the thing, you know, if Xfinity had given you enough of a heads up, you know, we could have planned around it or even played a replay of a show. But you know what?
Absolutely.
We were in the middle of things, and you know, that's the joy of live radio.
Right before this segment, right? You know, on a heavy day where you rely on me to provide a lot. Like this was like a podcast, or that would have been easy, or a day where typically I don't talk much other than entertainment. That would have probably been fine, but
right.
You know,
but
nonetheless, we're still here. I'm going to roll with this. I mean, it's not I wouldn't say this will make the best of cuts for sure, but you know, nonetheless, it's here. It's an episode.
Well, so in your absence, Tony, we skipped ahead to our please pull around to the next window. We're talking about
okay, perfect.
Drive-through stories, basically times that you know, people have either worked the drive-through or seen strange things in the drive-through. Now, I know that you worked at Arby's, and this is actually what gave me the inspiration for this topic. What was the strangest thing that you ever saw through either the drive-through window, somebody in a car, something along those lines?
Well, I can't tell you the counter, right? Because that one's probably the best story, is the counter one.
Well, let's roll with it because it's hilarious. I know where you're going with it.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you a quick drive-through one, but it's not as funny as the counter one, I'll tell you. But the drive-through one, we had a lot of rude people from what I remember. And I remember I had this one guy named Chris, and he was my shift supervisor, and the lady was cussing him out and yelling at him. He goes, "No worries, ma'am. I'll get you some fresh fries." And he scooped some old-ass fries, threw them in the fryer, let them boil. And he was so pissed he hit it, and like a couple of plastic lids had fallen into the fryer too. I mean, as a kid, you don't know. Like, you know, this is like, what, 9th grade, 1998? I don't know, or 97. I don't remember when it was, what year. It was a long time ago. But then, it went in the fryer, and then he, served up her fries, which were old-ass fries he just scooped up and just, friggin' threw them in the fryer. So that was probably the craziest thing I saw from a guy watching somebody else do that. But for me personally, I had this customer and then came to the counter, and he had a voice box. Hello, how are you? I am Ned from South Park. Well, it just so happens, this is a fitting story too. So I'm there trying to pay attention, and one of our best friends, Adam, which, by the way, Adam, happy birthday. I was going to say that at the top of the show before the technical difficulties. It's his birthday, but Adam was right behind this guy. I wanted to call him a member, but he's just a customer. And as I'm trying to focus, he's like, and I'm like, what? And I'm trying not to laugh, because to me it's funny. And what had happened is Adam's behind him, and Adam starts doing the robot. Oh, no. And Adam's like doing this dance, and he's like, and then Adam continues to get behind this guy and do the robot. And I lost it. I started laughing. I laughed, and this guy got pissed. He thought I was laughing at him, that my manager Gary had to come out, and what he was trying to order was one mocha shake and one ham and cheese, one mocha shake is what he was ordering. But the story of it was, I could not contain my laughter. I laughed at this poor guy, but I wasn't laughing. I was laughing at Adam in the background doing the robot.
Oh, poor guy. And of course, your kids, teenagers, just, you find everything funny. You don't care about other people's feelings, but at the same time, it was a funny sight to see, I'm sure.
Oh man, it was. Poor guy too, like if that would have happened today, I mean, I'm mature enough now where I wouldn't have lost. I would have been able to keep it calm, cool, and professional, till the internet goes down, and then I throw a temper tantrum on air. But,
Well, and let's go ahead and close out this segment with one last story from Please Pull Around to the next window. This from user Part of Breakfast. Okay. Says 2 guys were hotboxing, decided to come through the drive-through window. They did not stop smoking even when they pulled up to the window. I swear a cloud of smoke rolled out the window when they lowered to pay. They offered me a hit, but I politely declined. My guess is they were showing up to Taco Bell or Jack in the Box and ordering 50 tacos, because that's what you do when you're in that state of mind. But folks,
absolutely,
that does it for this segment, which was Please Pull Around to the next window. When we come back, hopefully Tony is still with us, and we will get to that silly rabbit. This bit is for kids. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know what isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, November 30th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it is easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends because sharing is caring. Now, on this slightly backwards episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show, Tony's been experiencing some internet outage due to Xfinity deciding to do maintenance today. But you know what? I think we've made it through. We've figured out the phone system here a little bit. And Tony is with us nonetheless.
Yeah, luckily I brought some of the stuff up. Now, I don't know where the angle is best for you, man. I'm sorry. When you turn it sideways, this is the view you get. Because if I put like my laptop here, this is the view you get. So I don't know how you guys like it. I mean, it's just whatever. This is going to be one of those episodes that no one's going to go back and watch. I would recommend not watching a replay of this episode because it is a train wreck. I'd center it, but I got to be actually I can just keep it centered.
Yeah, you know, I think we are good there. But regardless, since we are moving things around a little bit, since we weren't able to do it on the third segment, we are going to do it now. Tony's going to take us through Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids.
All right, so kids have a knack for truly asking unique questions, and parents kind of give creative answers. I'm not a parent, but I can remember my nephews asking a lot of silly questions when they were younger, and I was just like, why would you ask that, Or they would say some funny things, and I would be usually pretty quirky and come up with something. You ever have your kids ask you some of the weirdest questions where you're just like, okay?
Oh, all the time. I mean, whether it's just something off the top of their imagination or it's something that they think is practical, but it just turns out strange. I can't think of any one in particular, but as you go through, if anything pops up, I'll be sure to chime in.
All right. Well, a Tragic Alley here on Twitter says, my kids asked me what I used to play on my iPad when I was a kid, and I told them I used to let Elmer's glue dry on my hands and peel it off for fun. I can only imagine their little brains going like, Elmer's glue? Ow.
Well, and they all have to get Elmer's glue, as part of the pack of what you have to buy for the new school year. But I don't know if they know the joy of peeling it off their hands.
Oh, that was so much fun, right?
Yeah. You let it dry on there and you just slowly peel. Oh, so much fun. I don't know if kids still use paste. Do you remember that from elementary school?
I remember paste, yeah, and they said don't eat the paste, and there was always those kids that would eat the paste, which is strange to me.
Yeah,
because I was not a kid that ate the paste.
No, it had a very distinct smell though.
Yeah, oh, it really did. It was really weird. Seemed to work for sticking your stuff to your paper for your art projects.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone's such an artist.
Now it's glue sticks.
Exactly. Exploding Unicorn on Unicorn. Wow. At Exploding Unicorn on Twitter says, my 3-year-old daughter asked, if I eat a leprechaun, will my poop turn green? That mystery will keep me awake at night.
Well, apparently if you use the squatty potty and you are a unicorn, you'll have rainbow colored poop. Or if you just eat a ton of Fruity Pebbles, that's sure enough to do it.
Oh, absolutely. At Mom Jessic says, my 5-year-old asked me what a poop hole does. After an impromptu lesson on the digestive system, I realized he actually said pupil instead of poop hole. That's awesome. No, Mom, I don't care. That's your butt. I get it. You poop out your butt. I understand that. So
it's funny you brought that up. We were at the movie theaters yesterday, walking in with the niece and nephew, and they things are very tame in their household as far as language goes. And Jesse mentioned something about butthole, and of course our niece Kaylin goes, butthole? What's a butthole? And she just kept repeating butthole. Like, uh-oh, that's going to come back to bite us.
Yeah, well, butthole is not a bad word,
It's
but
not.
I know coming from where you're going with that, I understand it's very tame. So I joked when I got back on there, I said I had a soundboard, right? I'm like, well, at least the soundboard works. You gotta have internet to make the soundboard work. So I can see it. So I'll use the Captain America one. Language. Let's see. My toddler asked me if we were having moisturizer, he meant mayonnaise, on our burgers tonight. The kid must have had some intense face cleansing regimen when I'm not looking.
You.
Okay.
If you can mix those two up, there's some serious issues. Well,
Truly Tikafar. I'm just going to read their Twitter handle versus their at name. Justin Bieber's Hip Hop Drums on Twitter says, the other day my 7-year-old asked me if Outkast was alive because she's obsessed with the idea of musicians dying. She loves Hey Ya. When I told her they were alive and well, she asks, are they old?
Well, to a kid, old is relative. We're pushing 40 and we're ancient, I'm sure, to them.
Yeah. You know who's not old? Is you, because you're still the youngest out of the three of us.
That is true. Yeah. We've all got...
Out of you, me, and Adam, the 1981 boys. Adam finally joins me on the farther side of 30.
Yeah. That's all right. I've only got, 21 days until I'm there. So.
21 days, buddy. 21 days. Marcy G here on Twitter says, my 3-year-old asked me if she could shave the window. It took me a couple minutes to figure out she wanted to use the squeegee. She wanted to shave it. It's pretty fascinating for a kid to think that.
And I can get where that comes from. A squeegee looks like just a large version of like a safety razor. So.
Yeah. Oh, our favorite friend at Van City Reynolds here says, oh, I just scrolled up, so that's not very funny. Never mind, I lost my thing. We'll keep moving then. So Carrie Howley says, my son just asked if when I was little I had to stay inside for COVID's 1 through 18.
That's actually a brilliant question.
That's a great question. And you're like, I don't know. But I scrolled up too quick and I got hidden behind my phone. Van City Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds on Twitter said, on our 6 a.m. walk, my daughter asked me where the moon goes each morning. I let her know it's in heaven, visiting daddy's freedom.
Only Ryan
Read
Reynolds.
that in a Deadpool voice.
Yeah.
Sarah says, stop it, Twitter. My daughter asked me if cheese is a vegetable. So yeah, she's an optimist.
I wouldn't disagree. Yeah.
Yeah, well, keep encouraging her, Sarah. Jesse, hey, Jesse. My 4-year-old asked me if I'd fit in a trunk, and suddenly being put in a nursing home doesn't sound so bad. Mommy, do you fit in a trunk? I don't think so, sweetie. So
Ooh. Watch that kid
Jennifer,
for some years.
Yeah. This one's a little creepy to follow. Jennifer Liza on Twitter says, my 4-year-old asks why we are the only people who live in our house, and now I'm nervous we're in a horror movie.
They're here.
Yeah, it's creepy, man. And kids can see some weird stuff, and you just never know. Rachel Sobel on Twitter had said, my daughter just asked me if my boobs were ever round. In case you're wondering about some of the ways motherhood crushes your soul. That'd make you feel bad for sure.
Should get some knee knockers now.
Yeah, they're little puppies now. Seeks on Twitter says, Love Shack just came on, and my son asked, is that John Mulaney? I'm crying.
Ooh.
So it must have been like the video, right? Like
it had to
they
have
would
been.
have to, like you couldn't just be like you hear a voice be like, is that John Mulaney? I mean, I guess you could, but for a kid, I wouldn't think that. Now maybe seeing the video, I could see the John Mulaney tie to that.
Yeah, and he never
I could probably see it.
Never sings in any of those songs. He just does that funny voiceover.
Yeah, jukebox money. It's all the girl that sings. It's not him. Lock Lobster. Well, Lock Lobster.
Well, folks, that does it for this first weird, wacky hour. We made it through most of our segments and somewhat unscathed. Folks, stick with us. We're going to work on getting these things sorted out over the long break. And when you come back, we're going to have our call-in topic of untraditional Thanksgiving. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in about 7. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
Feature story news in Washington. I'm Simon Marks. Joe Biden, the US president-elect, is receiving his first official intelligence briefing today, 51 days before he succeeds President Trump in the White House. The president's refusal to concede that he lost the US election delayed the start of formal briefings by 3 weeks, a situation intelligence analysts argue puts national security at risk. From FSN's Washington Bureau, Nick Harper reports.
For the first time, Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will receive the compilation of classified information from the U.S. intelligence agencies. It's something that would normally happen within days of a candidate winning the election, but the transition has been held up by President Trump's lack of acknowledgement of the election's result. Mr. Biden is pushing ahead, announcing the members of the team that will organise his January 20th inauguration. It comes after Mr. Biden announced an all-female senior press team on Sunday.
And on Monday morning, the president-elect nominated another woman, Janet Yellen, the former chair of the Federal Reserve, to become his Treasury Secretary. The move had been widely anticipated by the financial markets. Pharmaceuticals giant Moderna is seeking emergency authorization to start distributing its COVID-19 vaccine in the US and Europe. The company says in clinical studies, the jab proved more than 94% effective. Doses of Pfizer's vaccine are also now being pre-positioned ahead of anticipated permission to start inoculating frontline workers in the United States. Moderna's president is Dr. Stephen Hogue.
We've been told by Warp Speed they plan to have trucks rolling within a day, if maybe within 24 hours of that approval.
News of the imminent availability of vaccines is sparking a debate about which communities should be prioritized in any inoculation program. In Illinois, community leaders say after healthcare workers and first responders, the state's black community, disproportionately affected by COVID-19, should take prominence. State Representative LaShawn Ford.
We need to make sure that we're not treated the way we've always been treated in the black and brown communities, because enough is enough. We must have our share of the vaccines, and we must be treated first.
The US continues to reel under a spiraling increase in COVID-19 infections. In November alone, it's already recorded more than 4 million new cases. And the decision of millions of Americans to ignore public health advice over the Thanksgiving holiday is only going to boost that further. Negotiators are entering the last week of Brexit negotiations, according to British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. In-person talks resumed in London over the weekend after a suspension due to a coronavirus infection in the EU negotiating team. Iran has buried assassinated nuclear scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh. He was killed on Friday. Tehran says Israel was behind the attack and is vowing revenge. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Monday, November 30th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Speaking of crazy, I am joined by my freshly, boy, how do you put it, re-interneted co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. We got you in all your internet glory now. So glad it was resolved over the break.
Absolutely. Well, it was weird. I started to take down because I didn't like the strip down setup because they had no lighting, so it was hard to see what I was doing anyways. So what I was going to do is I was going to relocate. So my computer's on a stand now. So I took everything off and I had the little stand ready. I was going to prop the laptop and the phone, and I was going to go get closer and give you guys some different background. But all of a sudden, then things started going ding, 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 which means, now all of a sudden I'm getting messages and
Internet's back up.
Updates. Yeah, so I was like, oh, thank God, because it's a little deceiving. I have a one of those mesh system Bluetooths you can get at Costco on sale for $199 right now. That way you can have internet, a lot better. You'll get a better signal in each room that you're in. So that way you don't drop, especially for doing radio. I want to make sure that I have a professional setup best I can for a house. And that thing's been blue the whole time, so that's what was deceiving. I'm like, so do I have internet? Do I not? Because the main box downstairs is white if it's not on.
Gotcha.
So you would think the rest would turn white, but I digress. We're here, and like you said, they're working on stuff during this time till 10:20 Mountain Time. So we have about an hour where things could get squirrely. I hope not. Knocking on some real wood there. We're here, man.
We're
ready for hour two. Hour one, I'd like to say it was a good hour, but I'd be lying to you. I'm sure what Chris gave you guys for you watching and listening was entertaining stuff, or watching me fight with technology was entertaining. I hope it was. It was not entertaining for me. But
well, as they say, the show must go on. So, you know what? We're doing the best we can with what we've got.
Cheers.
And luckily, things are back to normal, at least for the time being. Let's talk about today's call-in topic. Now, we invite you guys to call in on the call-in topic. For instance, today, we're going to give you tomorrow's call-in topic for you to call on the Fenix line, which is 855-336-4973 or 855-Phoenix-Radio. That way, you guys can interact, chime in, or, of course, you can always interact on our live Facebook video over at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R. Today's topic is untraditional Thanksgiving traditions. So this year, just as the first hour was a little off-kilter and a little strange, well, this year's been obviously off-kilter and a little strange to the point where for us, Thanksgiving wasn't on Thanksgiving. We had to help some friends who were dealing with a fire the week previous. They had previously had COVID. We were potentially exposed. We had to go get tested. And the way everything lined up is that, we didn't want to invite family over if we were going to test positive. Luckily, we got our results back. We were negative, which was fine. But on Thanksgiving, we ended up eating Hawaiian food. It's just, no turkey, no gravy, no stuffing. It was literally pulled pork and macaroni salad and rice. And for some people, that's a tradition, or they've got other non-traditional Thanksgiving traditions that they do. Now, we did have our makeup Thanksgiving, which we did on Saturday. Cooked a full turkey, the full spread, had family over, now that we knew that we were clear. And, we were able to do it a little bit later on, but it didn't seem as, what's the best way to put it, as much pressure as there is on that Thanksgiving Thursday. It was just it was just a Saturday. And, you know, if something turned out or didn't turn out, that was totally okay. Now, Tony, for you on Thanksgiving, is there anything untraditional that you either have adopted or have been forced to adopt given what's going on right now?
No, you know, in my family, it's Thanksgiving's just always been, the tradition was wake up early. Well, when I go back to my childhood, it was always, you know, go to grandma's house, and that was just what we did every year. As an adult, when I, you know, during the married years, we would go to my sister-in-law's, you'd spend a day at the nephews, play video games, watch football, drink beer, you know, play football with the boys from work beforehand. And then I adopted the tradition of doing Turkey Bowl every year up until 2 years ago. I quit doing it because when I landed on my shoulder wrong, I was in, that literally took almost like 9 to 10 months to heal.
I remember that,
I think I tore something, yeah. And that was just based off going for a tackle or trying to catch, you know, trying to get the flag. But when I went down, I landed awkwardly, and that's when I realized that I'm not Wolverine. I can get hurt because I typically don't do anything to really get hurt. But when that happened, then I was like, well, you know, it is just time to ease up on the football thing. So I haven't done that in 3 years. And yeah, no real traditions. I just go with the flow. I get together with a group of friends and usually the Shipley clan. And yeah, just have a good time, man. Like this one was no pressure. It was, hey, we get a free turkey from work. I bring them the turkey a few days before. They do their thing with it, which on this one was a Traeger smoked Cajun turkey, which
that
actually
sounds good.
Really good. Yeah, and they had a deep fried turkey too, because Denny provided his free work turkey. So, you know, you eat good, man. People dish out some awesome stuff. Like we talked about while we're eating, it's why do we wait all year to eat like a sweet potato casserole or a green bean casserole?
Right.
I mean, that stuff is just delicious. You could really have that anytime, but that one time of the year, man, I went ham. I definitely did not eat, you know, like I ate a light dinner the night before. I didn't eat anything during the day, man, and it was rewarding.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. You save that empty space in your stomach for all of the goodies that come with Thanksgiving. But
Oh yeah, you know, this is the first year too. I did not end up having a pumpkin pie or any dessert. I was too full. Like, just couldn't do it, man. Yeah.
it's the way it goes sometimes. But folks, that's what we want to hear from you. Chime in now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Just go to the live video and chime in there with your untraditional Thanksgiving traditions. When we come back, folks, it is all about you. So chime in now. We'll see you guys in just a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
How to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, November 30th. Now, we are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of the show where we are asking you guys to chime in with your untraditional Thanksgiving traditions. We gave a couple of ours as an example in the last segment, but we do want to hear from you guys. And again, you can do that by heading over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click into the live video and then comment in there. For instance, to kick things off, we have Kendra who chimed in and said, I hosted Thanksgiving this year. It was unusual because I was mostly sober by the time the night was done. I think this year more than ever, it's either that route where people don't get as drunk as they normally do, or people got even more drunk just because of everything that's going on, and there's nothing really else that you can do. Tony, what about on your end? Anybody chime in with their untraditional Thanksgiving traditions? Oh, you're still on mute there, bud.
The Yendras chimed in and they said this year was different just because it was just them and her mom and Michael's mom. Typically, they have more people, and it was actually their first Thanksgiving in their new house, so that kind of shook up the traditions of what they normally do. But they said they don't really have anything else out of that, and thank you for my loot crate. It came in the mail.
Oh, awesome.
That was that. Yeah, so she did get that.
Those are always
and
fun
that was from China. You know why she got that? Shameless plug. It's because she called in to the Fenix Line, left a message, and then we did our drawing at the end. And there you go. You know, you can win Fenix Media merchandise, prizes, things like that. If you partake in these segments, you too could get a loot crate, a gift card. You just never know what you're going to win here on the Fenix Show.
Yeah, interaction.
I digress. Shameless plug there, baby.
Interaction on this show certainly has its rewards, and we do have, our super fans who chime in regularly, and we know that there are thousands of people who listen to this show. So, don't be shy. Go ahead and call in at the Fenix Line, 855 Fenix Radio, or you can always chime in on our Facebook page or any of the stories that we post up on there. So by all means, do so. And, we have fun, and we'll never be mean to you for even if you say something stupid. But
hey, it can't be. Hey, you got me on the show, and I'm always gonna say something stupid. So don't even worry about that.
Well, and that's part of the thing.
We got plenty of coverage in there.
Yeah, we're willing to embarrass ourselves to make you guys feel a little bit more at ease.
She corrected me. She beat you in rank it. That's how she won it.
That is correct.
She's still waiting for you to draw, but we took the week off. So.
Yeah, we took the week off, but we did roll out some new Fenix fan gear, which you guys can see at the site as well. Some cool stuff, and of course, that's what the drawing is going to be for. But we digress. We were talking untraditional Thanksgiving traditions.
Catherine, this turkey tastes half as good as it looks. I think we're all in for a very big treat.
I was mentioning that we did Hawaiian food on Thanksgiving. Well, one of the things that you guys can do to sort of take a little bit of the tradition out of Thanksgiving without it being a total loss is throw out the menu completely. Who says turkey and stuffing is the only thing that can be on the table? Sure, there's supposed to be mashed potatoes and gravy, sweet potatoes, Jell-O salads, and dinner rolls. But what if you kicked all that to the curb and made something completely new? Create a theme or simply test out different dishes on this most celebrated of food holidays. And for the non-cooks, no, you don't have to do it yourself. There are plenty of restaurants that offer different meals for pickup orders, including full family meals. Or you can hope for a neighbor who loves to try new things. It's absolutely true. I know people who get their turkey dinner from Boston Market because they do a great Thanksgiving dinner. My ex and the kiddos, they like to go to Ruth's Chris because they have just an outstanding spread. And of course, anything from Ruth's Chris is going to be delicious. Nothing says you have to have turkey. You know, like I said, we had Hawaiian food on Thanksgiving, and it was perfectly suited. And of course, our local L&L barbecue, Hawaiian barbecue locations were actually giving out free meals. So we want to thank them as well.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Or you hear, you know, like the Christmas tradition on the Mexican side of things where, you know, they don't do the Christmas ham or the Christmas turkey. They do tamales, and tamales are delicious. So why not give that a try?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I like shaking it up. I mean, I'm not a big turkey guy. Like I said, my friends do it up well in the Traeger and the deep fry. Your traditional oven turkey typically is 50-50. It might come out good because that's where people stress out. Is it gonna be too dry? Is the flavor gonna be just right? Did I put enough brine in it?
Not my oven turkey. Mine turned out spot on. It was so good.
That's good. Yeah, and I'm not a huge turkey guy. It's all right. Like I used to love my ex-brother-in-law Keith, and he used to make a wicked good ham. So I was always a big ham guy. But realistically, yeah, you could do up whatever you want. You want to make it a taco fiesta night? Sounds good to me. But I do like the one a year where it is this big fancy thing. I do like that.
Yeah. And, you know, nothing says that Thanksgiving has to be, you know, you get there, you watch a little football, you eat, you have pie, and then you leave. You know, there's other activities and fun things you can do. For instance, turkey bowling. Yes, turkey bowling as in, well, bowling, but with a turkey instead of a ball. Pins are fair game with anything from actual bowling pins to empty soda bottles. This is a real thing that takes place annually in Newport Beach, California. Lucky's Grocery Shop started the tradition back in 1988 as a promotional event. With customers bowling down every aisle of the store, it stuck. Customers still bowl turkeys each year at Lucky's, or whatever their heart desires, come Thanksgiving. A little bit of a waste of a turkey. I can't imagine actually eating it after you're rolling it around. But at the same time, it was a fun, new, untraditional Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah.
Now,
a new tradition, not tradition.
Now, I'm trying to remember, Tony, was it Thanksgiving that you and I, when we were both bachelors living together, we ended up going to Hooters for, and they had a bunch of games and all sorts of things that they were doing?
Yeah, I thought that was the Super Bowl.
It might have been the Super Bowl, but
yeah, I think that was the one. I think that was Super Bowl. That was the Giants Patriots one where not Tyreek Hill. He went off yesterday,
right?
But the one receiver had caught it on the back of his helmet, and it was a catch. That was Hooters, but that was a lot of fun.
That was, yeah.
But I could have swore we went somewhere, and we did a dinner. We didn't go to someone's house. We just went and did something. I forget where it was, but the Hooters was a good story for a Super Bowl one because they froze the shirt, and we had to play that game where you had to smash the frozen shirt open to win like a gift card for 50 wings or something.
Yeah.
And they were giving away they were giving away at the time TVs and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And when we get to Super Bowl time, we'll talk about Super Bowl parties. But
man, I wish restaurants were open because I was thinking about, ironically enough, you mentioned Hooters. I was craving Hooters wings. Not that I don't crave Hooters in general. Yeah, that was just bad. I don't crave Hooters. I like Hooters. I like owls. Anyways, I digress. I was watching that show, Hot Ones, you know, where the celebrities they get interviewed and they eat their wings. So like Denny introduced me to that show on Thanksgiving, and I started watching it. You know, it's got sports figures, wrestlers, celebs. And what a just good show, but I was craving chicken wings. But we can't eat out, dude. We're in a code red. You can't go to any restaurants.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, man, no chicken wings. You want some, go to the store and air fry them yourself, which will probably just do that.
Yeah. Yeah, good chicken wings are delicious. And, you know, as kitschy as Hooters is, they've got some really good wings.
They really do. Dude, Hooters has got some good bar food, man. Bar none. That place is like, not only is the atmosphere fun, but their food is really good too. I like it. The curly fries. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Now I'm just hungry. But
yeah,
let's
make you hungry talking Hooters.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and close out this topic of untraditional Thanksgiving traditions. You know, obviously, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without a few family fights, but in this case, it might be planned that way. You can roast the family, not just the meat. Honestly, this one sounds a little dangerous, but families sit around the dinner table and roast each other comedy style. We're not sure how far the jokes actually go, but it's likely that there are some awkward moments during and after dinner at these events. Let's hope everyone is a good sport, to say the least. That sounds like just good fun, as long as, you know, everybody understands that it's not personal, that, you know, you're just blowing off steam and you know, poking a little fun where you're allowed to poke a little fun.
I like that. That would actually be kind of fun. So
exactly.
But yeah, this year I was all about, I love you, man. I'm thankful for you, man.
Well,
I couldn't poke fun at no one, you know.
Yeah. You had to be thankful this year. Well, folks, that does it for Untraditional Thanksgiving Traditions. Tomorrow's call-in topic, and we invite you to call in, is what we're calling Further Explanation Required. This is a time where you've attempted to explain something to someone else that is really quite difficult. I'll fill you guys in tomorrow when we get there. But, you know, if you had trouble just explaining something, go ahead and give us that story. Let us know on the Fenix Line. Folks, when we come back, we are going to do a redo of the entertainment news. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Hey!
So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Monday, November 30th. Now, we mentioned it a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you want to let us know about your untraditional Thanksgiving traditions, or you want to, yeah, I know, or you want to chime in for tomorrow's topic, which is further explanation required. Something that you almost need one of those red yarn charts to explain to people just what's going on with, could be anything whatsoever. That number for the Fenix Line is 855-PHOENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We will compile those together and put them out in a future show. Now, if you guys missed the first hour of the show, you know that Tony's internet provider, Xfinity, decided to have a little fun with him. So we scramble things up a little bit. And now Tony is officially here with the entertainment news.
Good morning, everyone. Let's try this again. Take two. This is your entertainment news for November 30th, and here is a more enthusiastic Filippo Fast 5. Original Darth Vader actor David Prowse passed away over the weekend at age 85, hence the no soundbite. If you noticed our friend, the jeans guy from The Mandalorian, he's been digitally erased. So now if you go back, you have to go on the internet to find him because he is no longer there. It's like it never happened.
So
surprised they missed that in post-production.
Right.
Nonetheless, mistakes happen. Mike Tyson, he had a big fight this week, and he smoked a joint right before he fought Roy Jones Jr. There was an exhibition. He threw 193 punches in 16 minutes and said he'd do it all over again. Man, they did look good for being a couple older guys. They look a little winded towards the end, like they had a whole rule, like if anybody got busted open, they had to stop. If anybody got knocked out, the fight would just stop, obviously, because there was no knockouts. They didn't really want to beat the piss out of each other. So,
and spoiler alert.
Holiday weekend news, somebody got dumped, and that is being Amazon broke up with Utopia. Canceled after one season, so if you watch that show, it's only getting the one. So
nope.
Hopefully you don't put too much investment in there. And lastly, Sarah Fuller makes history as the very first woman to play in a Power 5 football game. She was the kicker, and that's for the team Vanderbilt, or the college Vanderbilt. So good on her, man. Definitely. It's great to see, a woman in the sport. I love seeing it. Even if it's just a place kicker, hey, still awesome. So,
yeah,
from what I understand, Vanderbilt got their butts kicked. So
they did, yeah. I mean, I think they put up a goose egg, but anytime that if there's a female player, especially on the kicking side of things, that can do it just as well as a guy, why not give her a chance?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those like. Girls can do pretty much anything boys can do. Just there's some limitations to each side, but that's okay. It's great that they're able to partake in that. So that's good.
Yep.
So let's, I got this story here. We're going to talk weekend box office. What lack thereof is one. So we always mention this. So you guys still continue to try to support the box office best you can. I know right now they have smoking deals where you can see movies for $1. Like one of my friends, Emily, she went and saw Elf last night, and then she went and saw Honest Thief, aka Taken 7, the night before with one of her friends. And then you've got you went yesterday or this weekend to see a movie in theaters. So
yeah, we tried.
You saw Freaky, right?
No, we saw the Croods.
Okay, you did see the Croods, which is great because that was the #1 movie in the box office this week. What'd you think of the Croods?
It was fun. It's a DreamWorks movie. I'd say DreamWorks falls right underneath Pixar as far as quality of the animation and the story and the humor. They did a great job. We had a good time. My only complaint, for those of you who have kids, because it's a kids movie, that's great. But make sure your kids are old enough to even attend a kids movie. There was a little girl in the row in front of us who was maybe 3 years old. It held her attention for about 15 minutes, and she spent the rest of the time yelling, screaming, running back and forth through the aisle. I understand it's a kids movie, but at the same time, take some control over your kid. And if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Go ahead and leave with the family. Don't ruin everybody else's viewing experience.
Absolutely. Now, how was the theater for you? Was there a good turnout being Thanksgiving weekend, or was it pretty empty, much like yours and mine Freaky experience in the theater? That sounded bad. The movie Freaky.
Right.
The movie Freaky.
No, given the fact that it was the Thanksgiving holiday, that it is a kids movie, there was a pretty good turnout. My guess is, based on sort of the distancing that they were trying to do, we were probably pretty close to the capacity for that theater given the distancing.
That's awesome. Yeah, because when you go to book a ticket, it's like it'll give you one. So when I went to see Freaky by myself, I had the whole theater to myself. But when I booked my ticket, it gave me the 2 to my left and the 1 to my right. So basically, my 1 seat bought the 4 seats, which was strange.
Right.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah. But I digressed. It's good that you went out and supported movies, and I'm glad that a lot of others did this weekend as well. So the Croods brought in $14.2 million over its 4-day haul, which wouldn't be impressive on a normal standard box office weekend, but for anything lately, that's pretty damn good. Freaky came in at #2, bringing its total to $7 million. The War with Grandpa is still going strong. Its total is 17.2 during a run. Not bad for a film that had sat on the shelf for quite a few years. So
yeah.
The movie Let Him Go with Kevin Costner and Diane Lane has brought its total to $8.7 million. Come Play, which is something I watched last night. We watched on demand at my uncle's house.
Really?
That brought it 8.7. Not a bad little flick. It was the one with the kid with the iPad and the monster could get in. His name is Larry. The whole premise is
Larry.
If he puts the story on the iPad, once you read the story, he comes out. And not the best horror movie, but it wasn't terrible. It was very suspenseful in parts.
Okay.
And it had me commentating a lot like, why in the hell would you do that? Why are you doing it? Oh, it's a horror movie. That's why they do that.
Horror movie tropes, yep.
Yes, lots of tropes in that one. Taken 7, a.k.a. Honest Thief, going strong at 13.5 at #6. Elf! Santa, I know him. Came in at #7, bringing its total to $175 million. Tenet still going at #8 with 57.4. The Santa Claus back in the theaters, bringing its total to 145.6. And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, #10, 72.9. Great to see that they're rolling out the Christmas theme stuff there.
Yeah. And the probably the best Christmas movies there are, at least in recent years. Wonderful to see in theaters. I'd love to try and maybe catch something this week. But, it's nice when there's $1 deals. It makes it that much easier.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with it, man. Speaking of you can't go wrong for the holidays and stuff, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's boozy ice cream line is sure to bring you some holiday cheer. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is truly a jack of all trades. The retired pro wrestler has had an extraordinarily successful second act as an actor and more recently as an entrepreneur, thanks to his Termana tequila line. And if you don't already know, ice cream impresario is on that list too. For the second time, The Rock has teamed up with the Salt and Straw to create boozy ice cream flavors that are surely going to bring us some much needed holiday cheer this season. The flavor names are hilarious, and we can only imagine the taste is even better. The newest addition to the pack is Duanta's Termania Spiked Eggnog. So instead of Dwayne, Duanta Claus, or maybe I can say it's Dwayne.
Dwayne Claus? Okay.
Dwayne's Claus. It's made with Johnson's own Termana. And I'm probably saying that wrong. Terramana. It could be Termana tequila. The two flavors last year, I Saw Mommy Kissing Duanta Claus and Rock and Around the Christmas Tree are also available to purchase. In fact, you can get a 5-pint of Duanta Claus holiday pack, which also includes chocolate gooey brownie and double fold vanilla for $65. Man, there must be some pretty damn good ice cream for that kind of price. Yeah. I like my Tillamook ice cream down the local grocery store there. Johnson took to Instagram to promote the new singing a hilarious rendition of Here Comes Santa Claus, replacing the lyrics to Here Comes Duanta Claus. I want to say it's Dwayne, since it's Dwayne, it's got to be Dwayne Claus, right? Yeah. Dwayne. Either way, Dwayne. So he's making nice little riffs on himself there. So anyways, that is available for this holiday season if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Well, all right, he doesn't really say that part.
Right. Terrible names, but they sound delicious.
Get in my belly! They sure do. You know, what's really cool, too, is in some good news here, Universal Studios plans to open its $580 million Nintendo park in February. Universal Studios Japan plans to open its Nintendo attraction on February 4th, finally debuting a long-delayed effort to introduce Mario and other beloved characters to the real-world theme park visitors. Super Nintendo World is built on existing Universal Studios Japan site, envisioned as a lifelong replica of Nintendo Company's most popular games with rides, shops, and walkthrough activities. One of the first attractions will be Mario Kart, a ride inside a recreation of Bowser's Castle, borrowing an idea from the Super Mario franchise. Visitors can collect virtual coins by wearing a dedicated wristband as they explore the area and interact with park features via a Switch console. Ooh, this just sounds cooler and cooler.
Yeah, it does.
The showcase is one of the largest projects ever conceived by the Osaka-based amusement park operator, which invested more than $578 million. It was originally slated for summer, but got postponed, obviously, due to the pandemic. Its kickoff could still get pushed back as Japan is grappling with a fresh outbreak and the Osaka flu, where the park is located. A lot is riding on Nintendo World as it struggles with failing revenue. It debates whether to promote domestic tourism. Walt Disney Company is cutting jobs, and Universal is not adding any, but they're hoping that this will be the kickstart it needs. No word on the exact date when the Florida version will come, but based on the pictures on here, and I'll put it up on our site. Looks very cool, very detailed. If you're a Nintendo fan, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it looks exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And I don't really know. I'm assuming, because the clock reset, that it is time to roll on to the birthdays.
That it is.
Birthday it up, baby. All right. Penny. Miss Harley Quinn, Kaylee Cuoco, is 35. If you didn't know where I was going with that. Lip sync battle host and McDonald Trump's frenemy is a legend at 35, and she is Mrs. John Legend. Chrissy Teigen, 35. This orderly is really, really ridiculously good looking, and Ben Stiller is still my favorite MFer. He's 55. Ben Stiller there. The greatest Tecmo Bowl character and the best dual sports player of our time, Mr. Bo Jackson still knows what's up at 55. Moni Moni like a rebel yell at a white wedding. No one talks to 65-year-old Billy Idol that way because it's his birthday. Sal Person, I think I spelled that wrong, meets Indiago Montoya. I spelled that wrong. I screwed that up. Mandy Patinkin is 68. Jack Bauer's daughter is still the girl next door at 38. Alicia Cuthbert still looking fine at 38. He is Batman, the animated one. Kevin Conroy is 65. And from a Ranger to a Marlin, Pudgy Wudgy, a.k.a. Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez, is 49. And one of our best friends, Adam Paul Lowry Fracina, is a young 39. Happy birthday, everybody. That's your more enthusiastic entertainment news for November 30th.
And folks, that does do it for the entertainment news round 2. When we come back, we're heading into the final segment of the show, and that means that it's time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And welcome back, folks. We made it to the final segment of the show, thankfully, on a Monday, November 30th.
Hour 2, like butter, man. It was smooth.
Yeah. Hour one was like a frozen butter where you had to kind of chop it up into little chunks and try to.
It was choppy, man. Thank God we have you as the head honcho, the quarterback of the show. You know what I compared the first hour to?
What's that?
Very horrible Broncos game yesterday. And it's funny, during the break, during the long break we had earlier, so just nicely they tweet out the NFL that all the Broncos quarterbacks tested negative.
Now.
So we weren't allowed, so those are not sports fans, we weren't allowed to have a quarterback yesterday because one of our guys had tested for COVID, but then the other 4 quarterbacks were in the same room. They weren't wearing masks. So the NFL punished us by making us play, unlike the Ravens, who their quarterback got COVID. So they moved their game till tomorrow, being Tuesday. And we had to play with no quarterback. They took a practice squad wide receiver who had maybe played a little quarterback in college. Now, kudos to Hinton. Kendall Hinton was his name. Kudos for him being thrown in the fire, but dude is not a quarterback. It was ugly. So long comparison short, first hour, well, just the first little bit. I'm sure your segments where you held the fort were great, but once we got to that entertainment segment, you got to hear about the guy White cleaning himself with piss. It started out just gross, and then it got ugly, and then
and then it got better by the second hour. But you know what?
Now we're here, man. We're at the end. That second hour, smooth, man. When it runs smooth, it just goes.
Yeah. Now, if you do want to go back and listen to the first hour of the show or any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts: Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
I tried to time it just right. In honor of Darth Vader's, the actor's passing,
David Prowse,
say no today, and we are now doomed.
While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always get the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think, and tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
And we care, and even though that this is a slightly shorter segment for This Day in History, we are going to take you through This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, this day in 1016, Canute the Great, spelled C-Nut, don't know why, King of Denmark, claims the English throne after the death of Edmund Ironside.
Ironside, yeah.
Moving on, this day in 1487, this is my blood. The first German beer purity law is promulgated in Munich by Albert IV, Duke of Bavaria, stating beer should be brewed from only 3 ingredients: water, malt, and hops. Now, I do like beer that is more than just those ingredients, but it was nice to see that they created some sort of standardization and then created Beer Fest shortly after that. No, they didn't. But
yeah, I was going to say, Beer Fest is good. I forgot all about that movie. Super good.
We've watched it recently. It holds up.
Yeah.
This day in 1753, Benjamin Franklin receives the Gilbert Godfrey Copley the Godfrey Copley Medal on account of his curious experiments.
Why am I not surprised? I'm always getting guests on this show, even the Kristian Fenix show. I don't even know what to do. I'm squinty-eyed. Can you say that?
Yeah, it's not actually Gilbert Godfrey, but we like poking fun. I'm sure your neighbors appreciate that impression as well.
It was super loud. Back to Tim. Well, I don't know if they're home. Either home or they're ram jamming. One of the two.
There you go. Well, we're not hearing it on this end. So, this day in 1786, Grand Duke of Tuscany Leopold II promulgates a penal reform, making his the first state to abolish the death penalty. November 30th is commemorated as Cities for Life Day. Boy, that was early on when, back in the 1700s, they like chopping people's heads off. So I'm a little surprised.
You don't agree with me? Off with your head. Why am I not surprised?
This day in 1876, archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann finds the gold mask of Agamemnon at Mycenae. It's known as the Mona Lisa of prehistory. Boy, that's something I'd love to come across, is just a pure gold mask.
Oh, definitely, man. You know, archaeology is cool. I mean, I don't know what you discover nowadays, but it's just definitely to see some of the things they've unearthed and stuff, you know.
Well, they just opened a new tomb in Egypt, so I mean, there still are things to be found. Moving on.
Yeah, we need Dr. Henry Jones out there.
Dr.
Jones!
Moving on, this day in 1979, Pink Floyd's The Wall is released to sell 6 million copies in 2 weeks. That was a huge album for the time. Just massive.
Oh, it was.
And then finally, this day in 2004, longtime Jeopardy champion Ken Jennings of Salt Lake City, Utah, finally loses, leaving him with $2,520,700, television's all-time biggest game show haul. And that was just a smash to watch, you know, this guy just dominate for weeks on end and make quite a bit of money.
Yeah, well, and I wouldn't be surprised. I know, like, they're really doing their due diligence of who's going to replace Trebek. But he's one of the front runners to replace him. I know he's like a special correspondent they brought back when
No kidding.
Trebek came back as after his cancer treatment, and he returned to the show. He came back as a special consultant for something on the show. But yeah, he might be a good replacement. We'll see, you know.
Very cool.
Who better than the grand champion to take over for the great, legendary Trebek? I mean, no one will ever be Trebek, but... You know.
And then with our final minute, let's run down some of today's holidays. For instance, as we mentioned, today is Cities for Life Day, obviously due to the abolishment of the death penalty wherever Leopold II was. It is Computer Security Day. Definitely secure your computer, your passwords.
Secure your computer so you can run a successful radio show.
It is obviously Cyber Monday. It is National Mason Jar Day. It is National Methamphetamine Awareness Day. Looking at you, Carson City.
Don't do crack. This is Dr. Quack. Don't do crack or you get whacked.
It is National Moose Day, and it is National Stay at Home Because You're Well Day. I'm well, Tony's well. Folks, we will see you tomorrow with a brand new episode, hopefully a little bit smoother. Have a good day.
Bora!
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great